Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now it's time for your weekend tech tip, brought to you by Chevy Silverado.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by the Kokanee Kid here in the studio, talking about some of your options, chasing kokanee around right now, talking about some of the baits that he likes and his theories behind them. There's a reason why he's called the Kokanee Kid, okay? He's pretty good at it. He understands what to do, how to break down the water systems, and a lot of these different lakes are very, very different, right? Sure. You can't do the exact same thing from one lake to the other and be as consistent as maybe as you were on the prior lake that you may have been on. Again, before we went to a break, we talked. I mentioned scent. Is that something that you have a whole lot of confidence in, or is that something that if you're just running your corn just right out of the can, do you have preferences on different scent that you use?
I do, and I don't run it straight out of the can. So I do like garlic. It's a natural irritant, and I'm trying to piss off the kokanee to hit my lures. I mean, if you see underwater video, they will follow our presentation from a long period of time, and then usually if I go through a school of fish and I know my baits are in that school of fish, me taking a hard 30-degree turn, you know, those fish are following it, that lure is either going to drop and speed up or slow down and drop back. That's when you're going to get a bite. So if you don't have good electronics, I recommend people driving like a drunken sailor. But but if you got good electronics, and I know I'm right in the zone, I know my gear's in the zone, then I can do my crazy turns, slow down, speed up. I mean, you can do that with salmon fishing, and it works great. So.
Well, it is a salmon, right?
It is.
There's just a little sockeye salmon.
But you're just making them mad. So garlic works good. I do like shrimp. I do have some time that I like squid. Oh. I mean, there's some stuff. Tuna fish works good, but definitely ProCure. So I'm a ProCure guy from tried and true from the very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, scent is would you call it an advantage if you play that game as opposed to just something right out of the can? I mean, does it make a difference between having a really good day or just an average day? What would you say?
I think scent has its place in my variables that I do. And it is, I mean, if you put the corn on correctly on the hook, you know, it sucks into the corn. It's going to slowly trail back towards the fish. I mean, they'll probably have more of an opportunity to follow your gear, wondering what the heck it is. And then hopefully you've, you know, done a weird turn or something and you hit it. Or sometimes the bite's just on and you just get in front of a fish and they're going to smash it. Yeah,
one of the best things I heard over the years was, do Z, Marion, you know what I'm talking about, do Z. And we'd get bit. It was almost, and that was Chinook fishing. Okay, so what's your plan? Say this next week, next 2 weeks, if somebody was going to try to, you know, maybe do a camping trip or whatever else, are there places that you might focus on right now as opposed to another?
Well, for me, I mean, I'm not into jigging. I mean, I've done it, but it's not. I really like the troll bite. I like watching the rods get hit. And, and my one-time jigging with Scott Walters, yelling out numbers and up and down and blah blah blah. My shoulders hurts just thinking about it.
I believe it.
But yeah, so like this weekend coming up, I'm going to be going to Detroit, and then I'm planning on going to Wallowa Lake. Reports are fish are big up there this year. So. And you won't see any pictures.
You already like that.
Yeah. You won't see pictures because the locals are really quiet about it and don't talk. But the fish are really nice sized up at Wallowa. So I'll be spending a week up there and then traveling into Utah, Wyoming. I've already got reports from that. Fish are oversized, although they did drop the limit to 3.
Wow.
I know.
As opposed to 5.
4.
4. Oh, okay.
So 4. But when you're staying for an extended period of time, you know, 3 fish, you've got to eat them or get them out of your possession.
Yeah.
And so.
Fresh kokanee is pretty easy to go through.
It is.
It is. I mean, it's pretty darn good. I might get to that question as well, but if I don't ask this, I'll be doing it wrong. So a lot of folks out there watching right now, and some of them have never kokanee fished before. And over the last decade, maybe even more than that now, since geez, yeah, for sure. Kokanee fishing has taken off, and some folks are a little bit slower to get into it. If there's somebody out there, let's just say that they've got the boat already, you know, maybe not the electronics specific for it, but just everyday electronics. Is there anything, any advice that you could share to them, maybe as far as gear goes or getting their boat set up to where they could be more successful when they get to whatever body of water they're going to go fish for the first time?
So water depth, I mean, if you don't have good electronics, you're not going to know what the depth is. This time of year, they're hanging in the upper upper water column, eating bugs, waiting for zooplankton to come out.
Sure.
There are some exceptions to the rule. Lake Chelan, they're mainly eating shrimp at that lake. It's a real clear lake, no zooplankton, so those guys are hanging down at like 100 feet pretty much year round. So that's, I mean, there are some exceptions to the rule, but fishing high in the water column, if you don't have downriggers, this is the time you want to be out.
That was my next question.
Yeah, you don't have to have much weight. The guys a lot of the guys at Wickiup were just flatlining, you know, back 100 feet or so and just letting the Dodger naturally go right underneath the water column. So once we get into the warmer season, the fish are going to start dropping more into a thermocline. As of Odell Lake right now, they're from the surface down to 110. So they're all over the water column.
Yeah.
So trying to target them as a troller, unless you have a forward scan where you can see a school up at 60 and then one down at 100 and one up, they're going to get more compact into a thermocline. And that's really when you're going to start, as a troller, you're really going to get into them. You know, I mean, they're not everywhere. You're just going to...
And that takes a little while for the lakes to get there.
It does, but this lake, the water's running warmer than normal.
Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah.
So if you're new at it, paying attention to what your fish finder's telling you, fish where the fish are.
Sure.
Would be a good start, at least as far as the depth line goes.
Right.
And that can sometimes be difficult to try to judge, you know, how deep you're actually fishing. That comes with different weight amounts and different speeds. Maybe that's another question. Speed is a huge key.
Yeah, it's slow this time of year. So I would suggest if somebody was going out this weekend, especially probably going to get a little bit of a temperature drop on your lakes with this cold weather system coming in.
Sure.
I would go 1 mile an hour or slower. And then as the water warms up, then speed's going to adjust up. And I mean, I've trolled as fast as 1.9. My average is probably 1.3 to 1.5-ish. But this time of year, you want to go slower. Fish aren't as active. They're not going to want to follow your gear as fast. There was a story I got from Odell Lake of an old timer. You always get the old timer. So the first fish he caught, he'd stick in a cage right next to the boat, and then see how fast that fish was swimming and get his boat dialed into the speed that the fish was swimming.
Get the heck out of here.
Well, that's how he figured out his speed.
Okay.
I mean, it's real easy nowadays. I mean, we got GPS speed, I mean, that's pretty easy. But your speed's another variable that you need to find out. Usually early season, it's slower, and then as the water warms up, you got to
speed it up a little bit. If you did decide to get into kokanee fishing, and I want to talk to those folks that haven't done it before, what I would say is it's very easy to get into.
Sure.
You don't have to invest a ton of money up front. You can just get away. If you have steelhead rods or trout rods, you don't have to go change a bunch of stuff up. Get yourself some good flashers, some good baits that you can run behind them, and the understanding of corn, which is pretty important.
Yes.
Don't overlook that. There's a lot of theories on it, from colors to different scents and this and that. But lots of videos are available out there that you produce, by the way. Yep. Tons of them on YouTube. If you're a Facebooker, make sure you like his page so you can find out what's going on real time.
Yep. And
if you took that screenshot, you might even have a chance to win his prize pack that he's going to give away on Monday. But okay, we're down to the last couple minutes here. Again, I'm going to slant this towards the folks that might be trying to decide where they're going to go, what they're going to do. At the very least, would you say this is a time to start making your plans going forward?
It is. In Oregon, I mean, camping's always your number one issue, trying to get a camp spot.
Okay, a good point.
Yeah, so I've got all my camp spots picked out. I've already done it way in the winter. I kind of, what I like doing is looking at people catching next year's fish at lakes to make my judge on how big they're going to be the following year.
Okay.
So
you're looking that far forward already.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm lucky enough that Odell, I have a place to stay anytime I want.
Yeah.
So I stay at Odell Lake Resort on the East End.
Yeah, very cool.
So I got my own camp spot. I got my own boat slip. And Odell is going to be phenomenal this year from what I'm seeing. So
very cool.
If you don't have a camp spot, get one now.
Yeah. Good luck. Apparently, I mean, it is one of those things you need to plan ahead on, but you can certainly go out there and do some day fishing depending on where you're located currently. But if you have that opportunity, it is an addictive fishery.
It is.
Once you have the opportunity to be a little successful and you put them on the pan, then you get even more excited about chasing them around. That's what got me. It took the prompting from a good friend of mine to go out for the first time, and when we did, we ate them that night, and it was down the hill from there.
Right.
And then, of course, my daughter fell in love with it.
Yep. Yeah, it's super fun for kids. I mean,
totally.
Lots of action, and in Oregon, we got lakes that you can keep 30 a day. So
yeah.
I mean, that fills up a freezer pretty fast.
Best way for folks to get a hold of you or follow along with you is your Facebook page?
Facebook page, yep. I do have my cell phone number on there, so you can call me. If I don't answer, I will call you back.
Very cool.
love talking kokanee fishing, so that's what I'm here for.
So if somebody needed some advice, they can call you up and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Or,
right, or why is this not doing it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely take advantage of some of the information that he's willing to share for you. Good luck on your travels this year.
Yes,
man. It sounds exciting.
I appreciate it.
You're going to be gone for a month chasing kokanee.
I'm going to be gone for an entire month chasing kokanee with my wife and the 3 wiener dogs.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in and seeing us.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate it. The information that you share is always highly valued. So I know there's some folks out there that can utilize that info. Now, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, we're going to have the deal of the week from Fisherman's Marine. And it's a pretty good one for this time of year, as always. We'll be back with that in just a minute.